It's time to do our first mock draft of the 2022 season. Let's get it. Welcome in, everybody. Today we're going to do a mock draft, 12-team league. I'm picking from the 12th position, kind of show you guys what my strategies are, what I'm thinking about as I'm going through things. This is going to be a PPR league, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a defense, and we're going to have 6 bench spots. We're going to go ahead and run this thing, and I'll kind of go through what my mindset is as I'm looking at things, how I want to do it, and where I want to go. So as we let's go ahead and look at the draft log right now. Christian McCaffrey was going number 1 overall, then Jonathan Taylor, Eckler, Najee Harris, Derrick Henry, Cooper Kupp, Leonard Fournette, Chase, Kamara, Cook, and Swift. A lot of running backs off the board. First thing I'm looking off availability. Let's go to our running backs. And clear above the biggest tier is going to be Joe Mixon here. He's going to be an easy pick at the 12th pick. But we do have back-to-back picks. So let's go ahead and draft this running back here. There's a lot of ways we can go here. We have Travis Kelce on the board. I don't like taking tight ends that early, so I'm going to leave him on the board. It's way too early for quarterbacks. You've got tons of quarterbacks here. Even the number 1 quarterback on the board still available. We're not going to take him overall. We don't worry about the defenses. We're not going to worry about the tight ends or the quarterbacks. What's left is running backs, and we have wide receivers. We got some stars, some studs still left here at the wide receiver position. We do have some good running backs left at position, but when I'm looking here at the wide receiver position, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. I like Justin Jefferson a lot, but I have a lot of curiosity what Davante Adams is going to do with Derek Carr now on the field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take Davante Adams here. That gives us something. We have Joe Mixon and we have Davante Adams on our roster right now. I'm really liking our start. Let's look who went after us when we took Davante Adams. Stephon Diggs went right after us with Travis Kelce, Aaron Jones, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Deebo Samuel, Saquon Barkley. I think that might be a little too early, Rich, for my blood for Saquon Barkley that early. Just the injury risk is too dangerous to me. I'd much rather have Nick Chubb over Barkley, but it is what it is. Andrews, Keenan Allen, Josh Allen, the first quarterback taken off the board at the end of the second round. Still, again, I like that late quarterback, guys. You got some really good value that you can get if you wait later on to get your quarterback. We've got Williams and Elliott, Tyreek Hill, Evans, Brown, Akers, Connor, Gibson, Pittman, Johnson, and then Pitts, and now it's our team. As you see, we do have running back Joe Mixon. We do have Davante Adams. Now, one thing that I like to do is I want to make sure that we have 2 running backs that we can believe could carry the load for us. There's a couple here that I do like. I don't want to let it slide without us getting our second quarterback here because we've got to wait another 24 picks before our turn again. So I want to make sure I have my RB1 and my RB2. And it's between a couple people here. I like David Montgomery. I think he's going to be obviously the main focal point, even though it might be a little bit worse of an offense. Josh Jacobs, I do like, but I have worries that he may not be the number 1 running back. He may be released after the season or traded in free agency, but it's going to be one of those things. I'm not sure if they're going to be leaning on him to be a true RB2 for me. Breece Hall is a rookie. He should be amazing, but I don't know if I want to lean my whole team on that. And then it kind of gets a little bit thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take David Montgomery here to solidify our running backs. We have Joe Mixon and David Montgomery. I really like that. Now, let's go ahead and look at the wide receivers and who's left available. We have T. Higgins, I like. Jalen Waddle, I like. DJ Moore, I like. So I like a lot of these guys. But in my mind right now, is I always go heavy on the running backs. We have Davante Adams already. And since there's a lot of running backs that kind of thin out after this, I think I'm going to go ahead and take my next running back. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take Breece Hall here. Let's go ahead and take him. So that kind of makes me really, really happy about how we have developed our running back room here. We got Joe Mixon, we got David Montgomery, we got Breece Hall. Gives us a little bit of flexibility in case we have injuries or if somebody isn't performing the way we want to. Running backs start to thin out really, really thin after a while, so it's one of those things you want to make sure you have something to maintain onto your roster. Let's go ahead and look and see what's gone now. After we had picked Breece Hall, we have Hollywood Brown, T. Higgins, Kittle, Jacobs, Moore, Waddle, Juju Smith-Schuster. Might be a little rich for my blood, but Brandon Cooks, DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, which I really like, Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin falling down to the 5th round, Mike Williams, Amari Cooper, Justin Herbert. The next quarterback comes off, Darren Waller, Dobbins, Michael Thomas, McLaurin, Mahomes, Etienne, and Lamar Jackson. Now we're here in the 5th round. Again, too many quarterbacks that I like. I don't want to have all these quarterbacks on my board. Let's look at the running backs that are available. We can go this way and this way. Elijah Mitchell, Miles Sanders, not too much that I'm caring for. Do we have any top tight ends that I like? Not really. So we're probably going to go some wide receivers here. There's a couple receivers that are available that I do like. First and foremost, I do like Darnell Mooney. He is going to be the number one focal point for the Bears offense. He should be surrounded with targets. The only other person on that offense right now that even can warrant some targets would be Cole Kmet, the tight end. So I do like Darnell Mooney to be my wide receiver too. So we're going to go ahead and take Darnell Mooney. And now we're looking at some more receivers here. We have Jerry Judy, Rashad Bateman, who is now the number one wide receiver for Baltimore, Elijah Moore, which bumps down probably to number 2 with Garrett Wilson being drafted, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I do like Jerry Judy. I like where that's going. It possibly could be our pick. There's still some tight ends available there. Too many quarterbacks that I like. And not a bona fide. Could be a Miles Sanders type of pick. I like A.J. Dillon a lot. I'm not trusting in Elijah Mitchell and what they're going to do. I can't trust him to stay healthy. And I can't trust that coaching staff to stick with one running back. They're all over the place. Let's look and see if any deeper running backs here we want. Clyde Edwards, Hilaire I like. Chase Evans I like. So we're going to let that roll a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take Jerry Judy here. When we take Jerry Judy, our team is looking at, we have Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, and Breece Hall. Then we have Devontae Adams, Darnell Mooney, and Jerry Judy here. I'm liking the core of where we're going. Let's see who's available. Best available here, Hawkinson. We could go that route. We could go quarterback. Let's see what's taken here. After us, A.J. Dillon, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Bateman, Goddard, Schultz, Jalen Hurts, Tom Brady, Hopkins, Mitchell, Burrow, London, Wilson, Gabriel Davis, Kyler Murray, Elijah Moore, Tyler Lockett, Devontae Smith, Matthew Stafford, Prescott, Hunter Renfrow, Wilson, and Alan Lazard was taken. At the quarterback spot, I'm liking some of these QBs right now. We're in round 7 and 8, so let's look and see what they got. Miles Sanders still on the board. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire still on the board. The thing I like about Miles Sanders, they have a bigger passing attack now. Miles Sanders could be more involved into the passing offense. I'm looking at Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. They lost Tyreek Hill, and there are a lot of times when you lose your top wide receiver, the targets that are vacated don't always go back to the other receivers. A lot of times they go into the running back. So Clyde Edwards-Hilaire would be a decent pick here. Let's look at the receivers here. We're looking at Adam Thielen, which I do like. Treylon Burks, I'm not liking so far what's coming out of training camp. He gets super tired. He ran one drill and he went back into the inside because he couldn't handle it. He needs to work on his conditioning. Christian Kirk, overpaid wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brandon Ayuk, I do like him a little bit. Anything else that we like down here? Nothing that I'm seeing glaring off the board. I'm going to go ahead and solidify. Too many quarterbacks that I still like. I'm going to go ahead and solidify Clyde Edwards-Hilaire here. I think Clyde Edwards is going to be a good person to take. He's one of those guys that I think could be more involved into the pass offense, which definitely would help his situation. And then we're in the 8th round. You could start thinking about quarterback here. We're looking at things. I do like the Miles Sanders. How many running backs? We have 1, 2. We have 4 running backs. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead. Desean Watson, he probably will be suspended for the early parts of the season, but I think he's going to be a good quarterback to take. I think once he's on the field, he's always a top 5 quarterback, and to draft him in the 8th round, I think it's a decent value. But you see what I said, more on the clock again. We still got some more quarterbacks here. Could have waited, got an Aaron Rodgers or a Trey Lance. But let's look at what's available right now for the running backs. Rashad Penny, he just can't stay healthy no matter what. James Robinson coming back from injury. Nothing that I'm loving there. Anything here? Yeah, let's go ahead. This guy right here, we're going to go ahead and take Zach Ertz here. He's going to be my surprise sleeper for the tight ends for this season. I do believe he's a top 5 tight end. Once he came over from the Eagles, he was targeted very heavily in the offense, and I think that he's going to be, at least for the first 6 weeks of the season, maybe even the number 1 wide receiver target for Kyler Murray. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins suspended for the first 6 weeks of the season. Zach Ertz would be a very, very good pass-catching opportunity person for Kyler Murray. So let's go ahead and take Zach Ertz. Solidifies our tight end spot right there. We're looking pretty good right now. Just to go over our starters right now: Desean Watson, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, Devontae Adams, Darnell Mooney, Zach Ertz, and Breece Hall. On the bench, we have Jerry Judy and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So that's looking really good for us. Let's go back. This is one of our opportunities here. We're going to be able to draft a starting running back in the league. There's not. I think he might be the last one. Granted, it might not last too long with the rookie coming in. But we're going to go ahead and take Rashad Penny here. We're going to take a shot at another running back, give us more depth on the season. But granted, he might be hurt for the season before I even have an opportunity to even play him. So there that goes. Let's go ahead and see who went after Penny. We have Alexander Madison, Jones, McKissick, Mostert, big old running back train going on right here. Russell Gage, good pick. Pierce, the rookie out of Houston. Robinson, Henderson, Gallup, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave, back-to-back New Orleans wide receivers. Love those picks, especially so late. Freiermuth, Knox, Hines, Gesicki, Myers. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. Ukumbugubugu. That's all you're getting out of me. Davis, Price. Devontae Parker, he was one of the guys that I was eyeing up. I was hoping he was going to drop to me a little bit. He could be the number one wide receiver for New England. So I really like that pick. Too bad he didn't make it back to me. Tyler Boyd, James White, and the rookie wide receiver, Williams. It's our pick now. Let's kind of go over our roster again, see what we're kind of looking at where we want. First off, we're going quarterback. We don't need a backup quarterback. We got our running backs. Not tons we can do, but since we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs, we can skip on that. We need to start getting some wide receivers. So let's look at some wide receivers and kind of go over what the thought process of this is. Rondo Moore, he is a receiver that's probably going to be the number 2 wide receiver until Hopkins comes back, until he falls back into the slot. They're looking for him to make some strides. We'll see how that goes. I mean, he was inconsistent at times last year. Kenny Golladay, he's just always hurt. He could be the number 1 for the Giants, but his injury history is what scares me off of him. We have MVS, which is the new receiver. Who knows what number they're going to be for Kansas City. We don't really know how that's going to shape out. DJ Chark, Corey Davis, Sterling Shepard, which I really like. Sterling, Van Jefferson, I really like. So what I'm going to do, let's go Kenny Golladay, because he could be the number 1 receiver for him, even though with the injury history, we've already got some solid wide receivers we can do, but having Kenny Golladay on our team, I'm not too mad at. And then I want to get another receiver here, and I'm going to go Van Jefferson right here. Van Jefferson is a wide receiver that he plays for the Rams. He may be the number 3 wide receiver for the Rams, but he has some weeks where he's putting up 100 yards receiving. You know, he can at least get you 60 to 70 yards receiving every given week. And for taking somebody in the 12th round who can give you that type of production, I mean, he has those boom and bust weeks. That could be good for you. So let's go ahead and take this Van Jefferson here and go ahead and check out our roster while it's drafting here. We need to draft a defense, and we have one more bench spot that we can go with. We have some receivers here. We could take a tight end or a quarterback if we liked any of those. But I'm already seeing somebody down here round. We need to pick a defense first overall, but we also need to go wide receiver. And there's somebody here that I'm really liking at wide receiver, and that's Christian Watson, the rookie for Green Bay. He could be the number 1. He could be the new Devontae Adams light type of receiver, and that's something that you really want. We have to take, I believe, Christian Watson in this situation. He could be fantasy gold. He could fizzle out, but he could be fantasy gold. So we're going to go ahead and take him, and then we got to look at the defense for our last pick. Yep, it's going to be our last pick here. Let's go ahead and look at our defenses and what we have available. The Buffalo Bills are still there. I really like their defense. Nice, solid defense. They just got Von Miller. Buccaneers, San Francisco. Oh, I'm going to have to go Buffalo here. I like the division that they play in. I think it's going to be a good situation. Let's go ahead and take the Buffalo Bills. That's going to end up for our draft this time. What is it? An 86 out of 100. Don't ever look at this. When you're doing these Fantasy Pros mock drafts, don't look at this end rating. They're basing you off how much you pick their stuff, right? So that's always not going to work out. Let's get out of that. Let's get out of that. How do we, I guess it's kind of new for me, but this is our team. We've got Desean Watson, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, Devontae Adams, Darnell Mooney, Zach Ertz, Breece Hall, the Bills defense, Jerry Judy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Rashad Penny, Kenny Golladay, Van Jefferson, and Christian Watson. I think we have a nice depth at wide receiver. I think we have a nice depth at running back. These are two things that you want to have when you leave in your draft. We have a good quarterback, which this could have been a mistake on my part. If he is suspended, I don't have another quarterback. So this could have been a mistake. Then again, this is why we mock drafts. I wasn't really thinking about him being suspended as far as getting another quarterback, because I always like to draft my one quarterback and get out. So I'm glad this was a mock draft and not a real draft. If so, I'd be stuck picking up somebody off of free agency to start maybe for the first 6 weeks. So that probably wouldn't have been very good, but I do like that we got the tight end Zach Ertz. I think he's going to be a top 5 tight end, and I like our depth everywhere else. Other than that, probably should have drafted another quarterback, but that's why we do mock drafts. Again, guys, appreciate you guys always for watching the video. We're going to be putting out some more mock drafts along with a lot of other videos. We're currently going over all the fantasy outlooks for all of the teams to kind of give them more of an in-depth look at individual teams and the fantasy players that are on their teams and who could be good. Be sure to check out all those videos. Like I said, if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please hit the subscribe button. I know about 50% of the people who watch these videos aren't subscribed. It would really help me out. Other than that, I really look forward to seeing you guys on the next video that we put out. We put out videos close to every day, every other day, maybe even every 3 days. But we are starting to pump out these videos, and we're getting more and more as we get closer into the season. So, again, can't wait to see you guys on the next video, and we'll see you guys next time.